Yeah, carbon. So, the last picture show, the last, the last YouTube broadcast. At least that's my intention. Um, when I first came to Google Plus, there were a lot of people experimenting with music and Hangouts, and the fact is that I was just getting started playing again. This was back in 2012. Um, Seems like yesterday. And the first thing that happened, or the first thing that I found was it was an open mic in a Google Plus Hangout, and my addled, aged brain is not, for some reason, pulling up the name of the. That was mail. I got mail, and it's San Francisco Giants wanted to send me mail. How about if I try and? Oops, that didn't work. Let me turn the speakers down, and then you won't hear it. Uh, oh, his name's on the tip of my tongue. I know I'm going to think of it. Jonathan Blackshire. There it is. Was having an open mic, and I'll never forget the first time I happened on this open mic. I will say that I had already been working on how to hook up my studio setup to the computer and get it out over the internet over some of the other broadcast possibilities that were out there at the time. But I was over 350 pounds. Not that I'm about 60 pounds lighter now than I was then. Internet's been good for me. Um, and I, I, I remember I sang a couple songs, and there was this woman that was in the hangout, and she was like, "Wow," and Jonathan was like, "Oh, that was and just the hint of positive feedback. Never mind people going, "Yeah, that was really good," and it wasn't all that great. It really wasn't, but the um, the support was awesome and changed everything for me. Got me to, I was doing this. I'd gotten off of, I think I was on 5 antidepressants, and I had just stopped completely taking those. And then a couple weeks later, um, I got a prescription for cannabis, and started playing music again. And I was really just doing it for my head. I mean, it was great. I think no matter who you are, if you play an instrument or you sing or you compose or you draw with oils or watercolors or chalk on a sidewalk, um, the thing that comes along with the creative um, urge or the creative act, the act of creation is a desire to share that creation. And some of us are way too shy, and some of us, well, there's a lot of variations on the theme. Some of us have no shyness whatsoever. Some of us are really shy and never show it and just force themselves to get out there and do it and be entertaining. And me, um, the thing I used to love about Garcia was he would stand there and, for the most part, present the music, and he didn't have to do any antics or extraordinary facial expressions or movements of his body to let you know that the music was, really intense at one point or another. Although that, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I am saying that there were some of the most intense musical moments in a room with him playing where he was seemed absolutely stoic and would stand there and it would just emanate from him, and he did it all with his fingers and his mind. And so that's kind of the thing that I always, I never wanted to be. It's funny because in high school I thought I wanted to be an actor. Well, I didn't think I wanted to be one, and I got talked out of it. Although I think I would have been pretty good. But be that as it may, I when it came to playing music, I just wanted it to be the music. I didn't want, I didn't want to. I guess I don't want to be an entertainer per se. I want to just entertain with music. I just really want to play the music and with people in the room and hope they enjoy it and get some kind of, vibe going. I want to experience that. That's and my excuse for the going on this trip of wanting to play at wineries and stuff was really just I didn't care about. I mean, I needed to make money, but that was my that was my beard, so to speak. I was gonna learn all these tunes and have all this material that was winery ready, and that was how I was, and that was my excuse for spending all my time, playing music. When really all it was is I just wanted to play, but playing alone in your room is it 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 can only go so far, even with the enhancement of a chemical adjunct to the process. So yeah, I got to Google Plus and got all this positive feedback and support, and it really fueled the first couple years of my work and got me from an hour or so a day to 2 hours and then three, and now I was up over 3 hours a day until carpal tunnel materialized in my left hand. So speaking of which, on March 10th, it looks like I will have the procedure done. The orthoscopic procedure where they go in, apparently, I think he said right about there, make an incision, and then they send a camera in with uh, the tiniest of scalpels, and the tunnel, which runs, I don't have my window here, so I can't see if the camera is seeing what I want it to. So yeah, so they make a little incision in the tunnel that surrounds a nerve and tendon right there. And then it separates and provides more room so it's not um, actually interacting with the nerve itself and causing, the problems. And then it apparently heals over time to where, without shrinking. So it heals at the, oh, wow, at that, yeah, with that gap. So, and look, it's my old Strat, the one that got me going. Dan Healy gave me this guitar. And told me that Garcia had bought it from somebody at a show and played it for a while, and then took the pickups out and put them in another guitar, and the guitar was sitting around Front Street. Huey asked Jerry if he could have it, if he could grab it, and Jerry said, "Yeah, go ahead. It's not doing me any good," or whatever if he said anything besides "yeah." He might have just said, "Yeah, go for it. Go ahead." Who knows? Doesn't matter. But it sat in under his house for a number of years until he passed it on to me in 1980. Told me I'd have to get the pickups and strings myself and put them in. But then when I got the pickups, he put them in for me. And I've had a on-off relate. I mean, I've just gone through a new Stratocaster and played that for a while until the intonation was shot and I couldn't get it properly intonated and didn't want to spend the money to have somebody who knew what he was doing do it. And then I've been playing this blue Epiphone Les Paul Ultra 3. And I'm finally back to, you know what? There's never going to be a guitar ever in my life that I'm going to love playing more than this one. You know, sometimes you got to go away from something in order to figure out what it was it's like, what's it like? It's like if you eat some chocolate, it's really good. The first bite of chocolate is really awesome. And then after you've been eating chocolate for a year every day, you know, all of a sudden maybe you want a strawberry or some other kind of thing. But as soon as you've been away from it for very long, you start thinking, man, that chocolate was really good. Where'd it go? Got to go back and get some more of that chocolate. It's true, this is not an easy guitar to play compared to something with new frets and whatnot. But what I've discovered is once I've been playing it, and I haven't been playing it for more than a few days again, but in about a month, it's going to sound better to me than any of the other guitars. It's going to be just as playable. Well, I say in a month, but that assumes that what the doctor said about a couple of days of recovery before, I could pick up a guitar again. He did say you could pick it up, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be some tenderness. So, I don't know if you tuned in to hear me talk or hear me play, but you know what? This is the last broadcast, so I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And I'll leave it up for a while, and you can watch it at your leisure if you like. Although I have no idea why anybody would really care about any of this besides me. I just want to say, on the last broadcast, how it was I got here. And again, Jonathan Blackshire really is the guy that if I hadn't happened on his open mic, I might have just stumbled along. I mean, I suppose eventually something would have happened. I would have found some reason to accelerate the playing. But that's how it happened. And then after that, because I was on the computer all the time and on Google Plus, I ran into George Miller and Let's Talk About It, which was a show he did every morning at 8 o'clock, like clockwork, every day, Monday through Friday. And I think he even did it on the weekends. I mean, it's just like if it was 8 o'clock and you felt like gabbing and talking to somebody, you go to his hangout. And we talk about all kinds of stuff. And I am somewhat opinionated. and enjoy expressing my opinion. And actually, what I enjoy even more is back and forth, someone challenging me and how that goes. So yeah, and that was a big part of my Google Plus life. And um, eventually, I started trying to do some shows, and I forget what all. I just remember there's the Indie Artist Playground, which is one of the shows I think I'm proudest of because I had some really good musicians who would come on and play some songs and let me talk to them about them. And uh, I mean, it was really interesting to hear how their process was, where a song came from, and felt like I was giving back something for what uh, Google Plus had given to me. So yeah, that was fun. And then I had this idea for one more Saturday night, and originally, the funny story about this is that my original idea was, I'd find people, deadheads, fans of the band, would want to come on and talk about stuff that happened to them on the road. I thought, what a great, thing to do, and we'll broadcast it. And there were two problems. One, well, I don't know, there was one problem. Anybody that I ever found, even friends of mine, nobody wanted to go out in public and talk about it. So I guess that makes sense. And yet, I have this thought to get David Gans sometime to come on and be interviewed about his experiences. And I remember going to see him in Berkeley when he was doing a show, and in order to Garen Benfield also was there that night. So it was the best part of being there was I got to hear him play live for the first time. But I approached David and told him I had this idea about people talking about the things that happened to him on the road and their experiences at shows and it's one more Saturday night. And he looked at me kind of funny. He said, "Well, I have to think about that." And I thought, okay, I don't really. There's something about that reaction that I don't get. And it wasn't until I got a Sirius XM radio for my trip back from Boston after my mom died, and I started listening to the Grateful Dead channel, that I heard about Tales from the Golden Road. And oh my God, he's been doing that same thing for like years. And he must have thought it was awfully strange to have somebody come up. I mean, someone who we've known each other a long time. And, I can just imagine in his mind, he couldn't put it together. It's like, how does Jeff Dot know that that's exactly what I'm doing on Saturday mornings on the Grateful Dead channel? You know, it must have been very confusing. Well, it was confusing for me too. Anyway, so yeah. And then I think Aaron, Aaron Young and I met through some other show that was going on that and he knew some folks. Um, and so he started coming around one more Saturday night, and he brought C. Brett Campbell and Dusty Baker. Dusty's really a great musician. I mean, Brett's a great musician. Um, and Dusty was like a really dedicated regular player on the show for a long time. And although at one point I decided to stop doing the show, and then we had a problem. I'll always be grateful for his contributions to One More Saturday Night. I mean, he was a big part of it, um, while it was going on. And so was Aaron Young, who became the co host, and he would handle a lot of the back end stuff. So thanks to those guys. And then we had some fans. I mean, it was never big, but it always felt like a family. And it's just families drift apart, I guess. And now I don't ever see those guys. I never see you guys. You see me. Some of you come and watch. I know you do. And I've always been grateful for that. But you know what? I kind of need to be done with YouTube, at least for a while. So this is the last broadcast. Yeah. Okay, that was Sea Song. The show opened with Carbon. Um, hmm. Life's too short. And I suppose it's true. Yeah, there were so many good people that hung out in the hangouts and would watch and comment. And it was a lot of fun. One more Saturday night was a lot of fun. So, thanks, Aaron, and thanks, Dusty, and thanks, Brett. Sometimes I just forget where I am and what I'm doing. And I never knew why I was doing it, not really. But I knew I needed to, so maybe that was why. Well, another nice supportive person out there. And you know who you are. Vasu, if you're out there, thank you for all your support. All right. Well, let's see. Um, Well, it's been a blast. Thinking about the past and talking about it and all that crap. Anyway, thanks, Google. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a great night. And the rest of the time, and look up C. Brett Campbell and Aaron Young, see what they're doing. Sometimes they're over on Sue, and sometimes they're doing things here, I guess. I don't see much from them anymore. And you won't see much from me. Take care. Oh, do it this way. Right.